So it's starting to rain a little bit. I'm gonna do a little thing. I'm just gonna call it trail rambling. Just kind of talk a little bit about my views on off-roading and stuff. Things you should and probably shouldn't do. Like I said, so we're still moving along here on Thorny Road here at Chocolaka. We're almost to the top where playground's at. Actually, Forney Road just ended and it turns into Broadway, but still same road. You know, you just continue straight, no big deal. But still, so trail rambling. Just gonna kind of go over what I feel people should and shouldn't do when they're off-roading, some trail etiquette, stuff like that. Some good common sense rules, which probably the first ones that I'm breaking right now is you shouldn't wheel alone. You should always have some other vehicle with you. But my wife at home, she knows where I'm at and knows if I probably don't show up by the time it gets dark to call somebody. But I've been taking it pretty easy, being very moderate, not doing anything crazy other than having my exhaust fall off, my muffler fall off a couple of times. So anyway, so do's and don'ts, things you should and shouldn't do. Probably, one thing that's real sensitive to everybody in the off-road community is tread lightly. Here we're at a private off-road park, so yeah, if you come in, you wheel what you bring, you can be as hard as you want on it. It is what it is. But you still, I look at it, I don't want to tear the trail up for the next guy. I don't want to make it worse or harder than what it has to be. So I try to just be very moderate on the throttle and crawl up things. I don't want to use excessive throttle and dig ruts and holes and move boulders out of the way and just make it more difficult for the dude behind me, because that just kind of sucks. Now a lot of people, they like to go out on Forest Service roads and public land, and that's where tread lightly gets very, 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 very touchy. You always want to stay on the trail or the Forest Service road. You might see little shoots off on the side of the Forest Service road in the state forest or national forest, where people take their full drive up because they want something technical or something, something fun to do than just a graded road. There's beauty in the Forest Service roads. You ride up into the mountains, or if you're on the coastal side or the flatter lands. It's a fun little area. It's a real pretty area, for people to see. Now, some of these roads people have to rely on to get to their houses. People live out in those rural areas. Those roads, we really need to respect those roads and not tear them up. So when you're riding those roads, tread lightly. You don't dig holes, or if you see a mud hole that's on the side of the road, don't veer off of the main road and go into the mud and rut it out, or just be respectable to the land. That's everybody should do. Another part of trail etiquette is pretty much when you're wheeling with a group of people, you always want to, if you're the trail leader, you want to make sure that the vehicle behind you is always in view. You don't want to leave them. Who knows, they may have a mechanical issue, something may have broken on their vehicle, and they didn't have the communications or the comms to get back in touch with you, or to call you and say, hey, I got a problem, can you stop? So you always want to maintain view of the guy behind you. Just like if you're the guy behind me, you want to try and maintain view of me as well. You don't want to lose sight of the vehicle in front of you. So just everybody kind of keeps everybody in line. Let's see what else I want to ramble on about. And other thing is, really, it's a big everybody debates over, what's the best four-wheel drive vehicle. Oh, Jeep, Toyota, whatever. it's a big debate. In my opinion, there is no best four-wheel drive vehicle. I've had Toyotas, I've had Land Cruisers, 4Runners, Jeeps, Ford Rangers. I've wheeled all of them. I've thoroughly enjoyed all of them. The key to it is having, going out and wheeling and having fun with what you got. now you do have, with the Jeep, there is a bigger aftermarket support for Jeeps. That's why they're so popular here in the United States. You go down to, say, Australia, and Toyota's king, or the Nissan. Nissan has the Nissan Patrol down there, which is an amazing full drive vehicle. So is the Toyotas there. You can still get the diesels and all that in the Toyotas down there. Jeep has, but just like any other full drive vehicle, I mean, you have to put money into it to make it what it is, to make it more capable. With the Jeep, I mean you go in, I'm on 40-inch tires, Dana 60 axles. There's a lot of money invested there into a stop a little bit. There we go. What was it? Two-wheel drive. You take a Toyota and you put a lot of money into a Toyota, and you put it on 37s and have a blast. You can go and take a Toyota, you do a solid axle swap in this Toyota, put dual transfer cases, and that is a ultimate off-road machine. So, I look at it, there's no best full drive vehicle. I mean, you can have fun in whatever you have. And I've gone on trips, and I had, I went wheeling in my rental vehicles. And I say wheeling, it was Forest Service roads, nothing crazy. I mean, rental car was a Jeep Renegade Trailhawk. Nothing, people laugh at them. They're, nice little commuters. I mean, it was a all right little cheap vehicle to get me around. I was in New York State, upstate, went up around Fort Drum, all that. There's some good forest little service roads. I went out in there, and it was a fun little trip. I was in New Hampshire, and I had a Jeep Grand Cherokee as a rental car. I took on some Forest Service roads in New Hampshire and Vermont, and that was, some beautiful country. So there's no, it's just a matter of, have fun with what you got, wheel what you have, go from there.